Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another episode of Nerd Up. This week I got Dalton Anthony.
Yo.
Jason Gray.
Yes.
And I'm your host, Jesse Kimball. It's the opposite cast from last week.
Yeah.
Lindsay couldn't join us this morning because she's got, I think she's seeing Pet Sematary with Shannon and Allie. I definitely want to know how that goes because I do want to see that movie. But I saw Shazam instead yesterday. More on that later. Spoiler-free review coming up. First, though, yeah, I'm so glad you did because I was worried that I wouldn't have anybody to talk to about it on the show, and it was just going to be me rambling about it for a few minutes.
If I hadn't, it all depended on how I felt when I woke up because I set an alarm. I didn't even buy my ticket last night. I was like, we'll see how full it is. Let's see how I feel when I wake up. 9 o'clock showing, there was like 6 people in there.
Yeah, and I went to a just shy of 11 o'clock. I think it was a 10:40 showing. And yeah, like I was one of 15 people in the theater. So yeah, I mean, I know it did really well on opening day.
Yeah, it was like $50 million domestic so far.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think I think at this point, like DC is just, it'll probably make a crap ton of money globally, especially once the reviews are all coming out and people will actually start seeing it.
Well, when the reviews were out, it was like they were bragging about their 93% like last week.
Yeah, though the critic reviews have been great, but like people. I'm finding that a lot of people don't trust critic reviews at all.
Fair. I don't.
Yeah, like which I'm wondering, like, do people trust us? Hit us up on Facebook.com/Podzilla1985.
We're not necessarily critics.
We're not getting paid to tell you to go watch us on a opening day. Like
that's true. Yeah,
we're
just
just
do it as part
a
of our
bunch of
show.
a-holes that are like, this is cool.
That was awesome.
That's who I want to hear my reviews from. Like all of my reviews on what if I want to go see a movie are based on Facebook.
Fair. Yeah, just see what friends liked it and friends didn't like it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we'll get to that in a minute though. David Harbour though has been cast in the Black Widow movie. We don't know as whom, but that man's in everything now.
Is that Hellboy?
Yes.
Okay.
And the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Yep.
Which good for him,
right?
Because he's really good. Like the oh, by the way, apparently there's a special edition golden ticket you can get for Hellboy that comes with a Funko.
Yeah,
and
Zach
a poster.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. I just knew Funko, so I was like, oh, Dalton probably want to know.
I'm not a big Hellboy guy, so
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyrgyz doesn't like Hellboy at all, but he wants that pop.
Which is the weirdest thing. Like, you can go buy a Hellboy pop. They exist.
Yeah, but I think it's an exclusive pop.
It didn't look like it.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it legit just looked like a Hellboy
Yeah,
pop.
it might just come with it may just be a pop, which hopefully that's the case for the collectors out there because yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. The movie, like, I am excited about Hellboy, though. I think that movie is going to be way better than, like,
oh, no, the
anybody thinks
trailer,
it's
actually, because, like, I heard the announcement. I was like, okay, Hellboy. That's, like, it's not Guillermo del Toro. Because that's my affinity for Hellboy, is because it was a Guillermo del Toro thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, David Harbour. I was like, okay, that could be fun. And then I saw the trailer.
And isn't Del Toro executive producing this one?
I mean, he might be, but, like...
I know he's not
Martin
writing
Scorsese is executive producing the Joker movies. That doesn't necessarily mean that...
Like, he's not directing it or writing it.
And that's where I really, really like Del Toro, is in those roles.
That's fair.
David Harbour is awesome, and I kind of hope he's the bad guy in the Black Widow movie.
That would be cool.
I think that would be awesome because I'm pretty sure he could play a phenomenal bad guy.
Yeah, I really want to see him be a jerk.
Villain.
Yeah, because I think he could be like a lot because he's so good as playing the good guy, and even like he looks great as Hellboy. Mm-hmm. I don't know necessarily.
I mean, and even in Stranger Things, like he was like kind of like a morally gray area good guy, like the reluctant hero.
Yeah, I mean, but mostly because like.
Life wasn't doing great for him at that point.
Well, all that, and also, what he considered to be right wasn't technically legally right, and so he had to struggle with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, he's a great actor. Yeah. So yeah, if he plays opposite Scarlett Johansson, I think that could be great. I can't think of like a named like Hydra agent or something like that because we don't know what this movie's going to be. I think the rumor is it's going to be a prequel. Mm-hmm. But we don't really have any confirmation on any of that yet.
Right, and like I really the only like big characters because I don't know a whole lot about Black Widow's lore. Like the only kind of big characters that David Harbour even could be, like if they go from something from the comic books, specifically for Black Widow anyway, is all about like her upbringing in like her training to be an assassin and all that good stuff. The Red Room or whatever it was called. I think that's where she was trained, or what it was called.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't the White Hot Room?
No, it's not the White Hot Room. That is very exclusive to one character. But anyway, yeah, no, we don't have any information other than that. Just David Harbour's been cast, and like I said, good for him.
Score.
I want
And
that
good
dude
for
in
us.
more stuff. Yeah. So we also got a Joker trailer. So we finally got to see Joaquin Phoenix in way more action. We got a lot more information about the plot, and this very much looks like a movie that I will enjoy, as long as I go in realizing that this is not any kind of a DC Joker. This is a movie that has used the same character name as a character in the DC universe with a similar motif.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way to say it. Like, this has piqued interest for this movie that I didn't care about.
Because I kind of went from why are they doing this to, well, why are they doing this? It looks really good. But still, because I'm very torn on the trailer. On the one hand, Joker to me is a force of evil. I don't want to sympathize with him. I don't want to know where he got his start. And if they do play it kind of like this is him telling his story to someone, and then like they're just like, no, like
None of that happened.
yeah, it's like we know this person is dead. Like you can't be telling us this or something like, because I don't think he's going to be in any other DC movies, which is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't need the Joker to have an origin story. I don't want to sympathize with him. I am genuinely terrified that as bad as, look at every Comic-Con you go to and Harley Quinn, this is going to be that, but for neckbeards. This is going to just be a whole dredge of society that now looks to him as a heroic figure.
You think he's going to be the new V?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, absolutely. Of just like, yeah, everyone's keeping me down too. Like, this could walk a real fine line. It's one of those things where it's like, I'll probably enjoy the movie, but then the fan base is going to ruin it for me.
I could absolutely see that happening. Fan bases are really good at ruining movies.
Yeah, but that said, like, I loved the laugh. Seeing him in the purple suit was awesome.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix is a phenomenal actor. Not, can't really speak to the person.
For the character.
Yeah,
the individual.
Yeah. And, it is, Martin Scorsese's attached to it. The director is like Todd Phillips, I think.
That sounds right.
He's a really good director. So I think this is going to be really good. It's just,
It's not going to be a DC movie.
which is fine.
Yeah.
And like all things considered, probably for the best.
Like, that's just one of those things I have to keep telling myself, because if I go in wanting it to be like
We're not going to get Batman. Like, Batman's not going to show up in this.
Yeah, apparently Bruce Wayne was in the trailer at some point.
I don't agree with that. I think that's a fan theory.
Yeah.
That I 100% am willing to just say, no, let it go. Like, just, it's not, and you will never convince me that it is. They could say, he could name drop Bruce Wayne, sorry about your murdered parents. And I'm going to assume, oh, that's unfortunate that another Bruce Wayne had his parents murdered.
His parents, Martha and Thomas.
My family,
What an odd coincidence.
There's a comedian that I follow on Twitter that said, if they name the Joker's mom Martha, I will stand up and applaud.
I will stand up and applaud on my way out of the theater.
Not just in the middle, as soon as he says that name.
No, out of the theater.
Applauding by throwing both birds to the screen and yelling obscenities the
It's
entire
like,
time.
congratulations, you got me to walk out of the first movie I've ever walked out of. Good job.
I've fallen asleep at a couple. I'm actively leaving yours.
Yep. Same thing. I have fallen asleep during 2 movies in my life. And both of them had nothing to do with the movie. It was just because as a college student, I made poor time decisions. In that most nights I didn't sleep more than a couple of hours.
The couple times it happened to me was always rewatches. I'd go to a theater to see a movie again, and
And you'd fall asleep in it.
Yeah, just like, oh, and it's not that the movie was boring. I was just tired. Same thing. Where it's just like, I wish I could respect this fit.
Yeah, you remember that story that I've told before of the my
Watchmen?
final project?
Oh. Yeah.
So I'd been awake for 36 hours straight or something like that, and went into a movie theater like that night after getting a few hours sleep because I crashed when I got back to my apartment, went to a movie, fell asleep during the movie too.
Was it you or Shannon that everyone that you went and saw The Watchmen with fell asleep? Because it was like a midnight showing.
I went with Shannon and none of us fell asleep.
Okay, maybe it was another viewing or something, or maybe it was a different movie.
Yeah, or maybe somebody else fell asleep, but yeah, I remember seeing that movie in theaters with Shannon.
Okay.
Because it was me, Shannon, Lindsay, Stephanie, I think Bob and somebody else. And I know Stephanie was extremely uncomfortable during several parts of the movie.
Right.
But that was about all I remember being special from it.
It might have been a different movie then. I thought it was Watchmen. Because
no
Watchmen was
idea.
kind of long.
Watchmen was really long, and we definitely did see a late showing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, moving back to new stuff. So yeah, the Joker movie, I will see it.
Yeah.
I just have to, like I said,
We just got to kind of separate the character from
the movie.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be hard. But
honestly, at this point, I kind of want to go back and rewatch the DC movies now with that mindset of, okay, this is very clearly like, this is the story they're telling. Maybe I'm being unfair to these movies. And just like, I need to kind of remove these characters as I want them to be and go back and rewatch.
I think Suicide Squad, like,
oh no,
that one's still bad.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go back to that one because even if it wasn't Harley and Joker, like you are romanticizing a terrible relationship of how you treat someone. Yep. Like that's just
and then they gave the Suicide Squad a bad guy that the Suicide Squad would never be the ones dealing with. Like
that was a Superman level threat.
Yeah, no,
that Justice League level.
That was you call the Justice League for that one, not the Suicide
Justice
Squad.
League dark level threat.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on though, Idris Elba, speaking of Suicide Squad, he is not replacing Will Smith, as in he will not be Deadshot. In fact, Deadshot will not be in the film at all.
They said this is another one of those out of respect to Will Smith, because this wasn't a thing where Will Smith and they fired Will Smith or they left on bad terms. This was just a scheduling conflict. So they didn't want to totally, even though this is a total reboot. And we know for sure Margot Robbie and the actress who played Amanda Waller.
Mic on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah, you were just like, I don't know, you just dipped real quiet there.
Oh, weird.
So.
But the actress who plays Amanda Waller is coming back. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is coming back. They tried to get Will Smith back, and now even though it is a total reboot of the Suicide Squad, so it's real easy to tell. That it's a different film. They're still just not going to use... Oh, and Jai Courtney is coming back as Captain Boomerang, he said.
Ooh. Also, Viola Davis.
Viola Davis, yes, thank you. So they're bringing back a chunk of the original cast.
Yeah.
Total reboot. Shot for shot. We'll see.
It's a different universe.
That would actually kind of be... All right, this is the conspiracy theory that I'm just coming up with now, so bear with me. Disney pretended to fire James Gunn, knowing that Warner Brothers, who's just, swimming in the wake like the parasite that they are in the movies, would just be like, oh, we got something for him. James Gunn is a double agent. He's going in to tank whatever project Warner Brothers and DC is a part of, because Disney hungry. Disney is Galactus. Planet Fox has been consumed. Warner Brothers is next in line in the solar system.
I feel like Sony is next in line. Warner Brothers is down the line, though. Like they're putting out. They sent the Herald out. James Gunn is the Herald.
The Silver Surfer. Run from it. Fear it.
Because I think Thanos right now
coming.
They're at Sony. Like the Herald's already left Sony. The Herald in that case was Tom Holland. But anyway,
just telling him the entire plan.
But at the same time, like, at least Idris Elba's still going to be in the movie.
Yes,
he's just not going to play Deadshot.
Right. Which would be like, who knows who they're gonna have him play at this point. It would be really cool to see him as Deadshot.
Yes.
Yes, that would have been really cool. I kept almost saying Deadpool, and I was like, no, not Deadpool, Deathstroke.
I mean, yeah. Also, to both of those, yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think there's anyone that they could cast Idris Elba as that I would be mad about.
Yeah,
Harley Quinn.
No, yeah,
I'd be on board. See Joker try to pull that again.
There actually was a male Harley Quinn in the comic book, very briefly. In that, like, Harley recruited a gang of Harleys.
Yeah.
And it was also Harley Quinn because it can also
Joker
be
tried to smack up on Idris Elba. That game wouldn't last long at all.
in the comic book at least that Joker was long gone from Harley's life. But anyway, moving back here, Idris Elba's still going to be in it. Just we don't know who yet. So Shazam, I'm going to go ahead and talk about that real quick. So I'm gonna Asa, you go ahead and start out, and I'll jump up on you.
I liked it a lot. It was good. I definitely didn't like it as much as you did, but I do think this is probably the best thing that they've done. Like they just continue to one up the previous film that they've put out. This was a lot of fun. There were several moments that I legit chuckled.
Yes,
in the theater. Zachary Levi was really, really good as adult Shazam. All of the again, we say it almost with all of these DC movies, even the ones we didn't like. The performances are really good.
Yes,
like the acting is really, really good.
Typically, it's the writing that is
really kind of sinks the ship. Didn't really have a lot of those problems. There were certainly moments, especially at the end, that you kind of have to just let go and be like, yeah, there's no reason you would know these facts. No one's had these conversations with you, but you just know things that you really have no reason knowing. But whatever, it's not the point. We're moving past it.
I think I know the scene you're talking about because I thought about it too.
There's a couple.
There's one in particular. Anyway,
yeah, there's one real bad one. But like, so yeah, there's things that but it's just one of those. It's a superhero B movie. Like, just here we go. I definitely think it didn't need to be 2 hours.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Some of the stuff, like even like the opening scene, was like, oh, this is just kind of keeps going in a movie that's not about this guy, because it very much is the Marvel mirror match.
Yeah, they tried to do like the sympathetic villain setup,
but not really, like, because he was not sympathetic at all.
Yeah, like by the end of it, like you saw, like they gave like the early finish your review. We'll.
That's pretty much it. Is just it's like this is very much a movie establishing Billy Batson and Shazam, and it does a good job of that. I kind of liked the idea of like someone child just all of a sudden like, hey, here's your God mode code, bye.
Yeah,
and then him trying to like figure out.
Because that was actually a pretty different take on it. Yeah. Because like historically, there's been the tiger, and then the wizard has stuck around.
And there were a lot of really, really subtle nods that I didn't initially even pick up. But like as I'm reading through some like other reviews and like Easter eggs, like the name of the high school is so Fawcett High or whatever it's called. That's the name of the original comic company that published Captain Marvel.
Huh.
The tiger makes an appearance, but not really.
Yeah.
A couple times. But no, it was really good. It was a lot of fun. Those moments of him and Freddy trying to, we saw in the trailer of like, the flight test, things like that. Those were great. But it also had, we talked about in the other reviews previously how this was a lighter movie. Yeah. And this was a much more fun movie than any other DC project before. And it has. That doesn't mean that there's not some really kind of heartstring tugging, kind of heavy moments.
There was one moment in particular where I'm just like,
707?
Yeah. Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Asa mentioned not enjoying it as much as me because I posted on some social media that I very much did enjoy this. I do believe that it has dethroned Wonder Woman as the best movie in this universe, which for me is pretty high praise because I did really, really like Wonder Woman.
And I mean, and up to this point, you can't really argue that Wonder Woman wasn't the best thing DC's done film-wise.
Because, I know we have, especially in our group, some differing of opinions on Aquaman. I still haven't seen it.
And Justice League.
And Justice
League. But, I even still, I'm, as the person who liked both of those movies the most out of our friend group, I think it's safe to say, I still enjoyed Wonder Woman. I think was a better movie.
Yep, and nobody in our group debates like Wonder Woman was a really solid film. Like it was a good movie. I actually did like this more than Wonder Woman. There's one thing in particular where like I feel like they cut a scene that would have presented some information that was brought up later on that I'm like, unless she's just, I guess I could see her figuring it out real quick because it wasn't, what's the word I'm looking for, difficult to ascertain. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like there was one character that just knew something that she probably shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's not really a big deal. My other complaint, Zachary Levi, I feel like was better at playing a 14-year-old than the 14-year-old they cast.
See, and I thought it was more of like it's just empirically better to be a superhero than an orphan who's constantly running away from.
No, yeah, don't get me wrong.
Because as the kid, he was definitely a little bit moodier than. I don't. Not that I expected him to be, but like the turn of when he went from to hey seemed real quick.
Yeah,
and it would have been nice to see a little bit of progression leaning that way, which we got a little bit of, in fairness.
Yeah, because you just had you had Zachary Levi just super excitable trying to play, he did a really good job of playing a 14-year-old in a grown man's body that just got, superpowers.
Right.
But then you have he goes back to being Billy and he loses all of the excitement and everything else. He goes back to being moody and broody. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, that was one thing that irked me a little bit, but it's not a huge deal. Like I said, it's tiny irk. Mm-hmm.
The suit doesn't get better.
No, you just kind of have to let that go.
It's still very much I got used to it, but I was like, yeah, even in motion, this looks bad. It really did. It really did make me pine for just why John Cena is right there.
Yeah, no, that would have been way better. Just honestly, most of the suit was fine. After a few minutes, but the shoulders never moved right.
Yeah, because they weren't.
They were just they were gigantic pads, so it just didn't look right. It didn't move like actual shoulders do. I would have preferred them to CG him than wearing this ridiculous muscle suit.
I don't know, because there was some wonky CG. The biggest standout to me was the mall scene where he's.
Oh yeah,
that looked rough.
That did look rough. A lot of the flying looked pretty rough. In fair, I mean that's something that I feel like they have had problems with in every movie they've done. Any character that has flown, it looks rough.
Mm-hmm. Well, and maybe it's because and granted, it's because it was entirely CG. But I just rewatched Iron Man, and that looked great. Him in the suit, and especially the little touches of him being unsteady at the beginning too. Before he really gets the hang of it. Mm-hmm. But but then this movie's made 10 years later, and it's just whoo. Yeah,
because they're still using the same flying effects that they used in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Because Marvel has figured out how to make it look like someone is flying. And they're real good at it now.
Yeah.
I never questioned that person is moving through the air like no man should.
Some sort of human, but better,
a super,
a superhuman. Yeah, it's
craziness. But anyway, no, it's one of those things. I will say, I'm giving this high praise. It's important to note, it's high praise for a DC film. Mm-hmm. So still doesn't crack top 10 Marvel. I had that brand new movie eyes going yesterday when I thought it might crack top 10 Marvel. Mm-hmm. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's still it competes with the lower tier Marvel movies.
Yeah,
I would say, but yeah, it's still very much a DC movie. It's not. There's going to be a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems with it. There's a lot of, like I said, the CG problems. A lot of some writing issues. The writing is getting better as they progress. As they're, I guess, figuring out what they're wanting to do. We actually had a clear motive, plot, villain. Villain had clear backstory. Everything that was at least good and a step up from previous movies. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it still had its DC. Warner Brothers still has issues.
Yeah.
But I would still give this a if you like. Cheesy, actiony. I mean, I wouldn't even say it was cheesy. If you like just entertaining, fun superhero movies, Shazam is a full price. Mm-hmm. In general, though, I would say it's still absolutely worth seeing in theaters for a matinee.
Yeah, I mean, in my reviews be a matinee, just because it's a fun movie. It also benefits from since it has no ties to any of the other DC properties, it's easy to just like this could be your first one.
Oh,
like
yeah.
if you've been scared off by the other DC movies based on like all of the nerds online hating them, like this one is worth going to just because, like you said, it's a fun superhero movie. You don't need to know anything about any of the other DC properties. It's very much standalone.
Yep.
And honestly, like this is the first one that I'm hoping they make a sequel to. Like Aquaman, if they make a sequel, I'm going to see it, but I'm not going to be heartbroken if they don't. I actively want there to be another Shazam movie.
Oh, I agree. Because I'm invested in what's happening in that story right now.
Yeah.
After seeing that movie, like I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, a solid matinee. Definitely go check that out if you guys get the chance. All right. Next bit of news here, we got Cowboy Bebop live action cast. We've got at least your primary 4, which this is one of those things I know nobody else at the table cares a whole lot. Cowboy Bebop, though, is one of my favorite anime of all time.
I always enjoyed watching it when I caught it, but I've never seen it all the way through. I've seen like individual episodes, and every time I've seen it, I really liked it.
I mean, the first several episodes especially. You can almost watch without having any context at all. There's a lot of episodes that like there's an overarching story, but they have I'm not going to call it Monster of the Week because that's not what it is, but like it has an individual story in every episode.
Self-contained.
Yeah, self-contained is good. I have the DVDs if you want to borrow them at any point.
Might have to do that once Endgame comes out.
There you go. So yeah, they've cast the main 4, which is Spike Spiegel, Jet Black, Faye Valentine, and Vicious. Vicious being the bad guy. The other 3 are the primary 3 protagonists of the story. John Cho is Spike Spiegel. That's Harold from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, it's very, very. That's real interesting casting to me. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but Spike is a pretty like character wise, yes, but like for the action side of things,
right?
That's where my disconnect comes from.
Because I guess John Cho is going to be doing a whole lot. Like he has to be doing a whole lot of fighting because Spike is like he's an excellent marksman as well as hand-to-hand fighter, like really good at hand-to-hand combat. So I don't know if I see Harold doing hand-to-hand.
I need a third movie now.
Because I've seen John Cho in enough things that like that's not where my brain immediately goes to.
I don't know what else he's even been in.
He was in Searching. I think that was the name of it, but he's a really, really good actor.
No, fair enough.
So I absolutely think he could nail the character side of it. Just kind of that too cool for school, really laid back. Just that I remember Spike as being, and I could be wrong because, like I said, limited exposure. Because the one thing that I remember is him trying to teach the dude how to fight, and he's just like fluid. Everything's just you're just kind of moving. It's like okay, I could kind of see that, but yeah. I don't know enough about John Cho to know if he's going like how he'll do in a very martial arts heavy thing.
Yeah, because that's always where you got to worry with stuff like that because that's what like Iron Fist had a lot of problem with. The actor they got was good at stage combat, but he was not good at martial arts. So it showed in the first season of Iron Fist. But yeah, I guess we'll see. We got Mustafa Shakir as Jet Black, which this casting is pretty cool. That was he was in Luke Cage season 2. Not is it Bushwhacker? It's not Bushwhacker. It's Bush something. He was the bad guy. Bushmaster. Yeah, he was the bad guy in Luke Cage season 2.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, no, this could be cool. Like that because I think he could nail that role. Because it's going to be very different than his role in Luke Cage. But because Jet Black is like an ex-cop. And yeah, now
is he the taller bald guy with like the hope ring still going? Okay.
Yep. So I don't know if they're gonna give.
I don't know these characters. I'm sorry, you're looking at me like
it was the hope ring.
Yeah, he has a hope ring.
Yeah, I don't know these characters either.
And some like cybernetic implants and stuff like that. He's cool. Like Jet
Black. He was kind of
like
the mentor figure, like mechanic.
Yeah, he was kind of like the leader, pilot ish. Oh, I say leader. He wasn't really the leader, but yeah, he's like the pilot, home base. The Overwatch, if you will, for Spike, but he could also like fight, set stuff up, figure stuff out, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you have Faye Valentine will be played by Daniela Pineda. I have no idea what she's been in.
I know that name.
Honestly, I saw the headline, so I sent it to the group chat because I kind of assumed this would be like a you and Lindsay and Mandy thing.
Yep. Sadly, because they also both love Cowboy Bebop. So, and then we've got Alex Hassel as Vicious, which is it's hard to say he's the primary bad guy, but he is the big bad guy. Mm-hmm. I can't really say much more, because there's a lot of reasons for that. But either way, yeah, like I don't know that he could really pull that off either. But yeah, I'm excited to find out because I love Cowboy Bebop. And then the last bit of news for this section of the podcast: Tim Burton's Beetlejuice sequel has been scrapped.
Which that's a bummer because they seem to have like the original cast seemed to be
all for it.
Yeah.
So
What was it going to be, like Beetlejuice Goes to Hawaii or something like that?
I don't remember if there was a.
I know that was going to be. I knew that
there was
gonna...
like some sort of hook to it. But yeah, I don't fully remember how.
And it's like it is a bummer, but it's also one of those where it's like,
did it need it?
It didn't need it, and like I'm cool with Beetlejuice just being a standalone.
Yeah.
Like that movie is gonna stand the test of time and be good enough to where it never needs a sequel. Like, and it's not like Bill and Ted where it's like, I mean, I'll see a third movie. I am more than fine with that. But like this is just like I feel like you could really ruin these characters.
I mean, it's definitely.
Start talking about Bill and Ted, and I was getting ready to dash wild to you.
No. Like I like
Bill.
Bill.
Careful.
I like Bill and Ted a lot, and it's just like no. And it's the same thing with like Jay and Silent Bob. Mm-hmm. Like I will always watch the next movie because I like those characters are very funny to me, and like. But Beetlejuice is one of those like you really risked losing those characters, like losing the hook on that.
And I would agree more if it wasn't for the fact that it was like all of the original people were on board because it's like if they announced Toy Story 5 in 3 years, but it's not going to include like
Tom Hanks.
Well, not even the voice actors, but like this is a different like Pixar. The main Pixar team isn't going to work on it.
Oh yeah,
it'd be like no, why?
Yeah, it's got to be the main people.
That's not your thing. You hands off. But if it is, so I'm a little bit more bummed just because it would have been the original people.
Yeah.
Which, granted, that doesn't necessarily mean it was going to be good. See, the Dark Knight. What's the
Rises?
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. Or no.
There's the Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises.
Not
and
the
Batman Begins is the first one.
Not the movie. The Frank Miller.
Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, Dark Knight Strikes Again.
Strikes Again.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
okay.
And
then
you nailed it the first 2 times.
No. They didn't nail it the first time. They nailed it the first time. Second time was okay. Master Race, I think is what it was called. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the new one where it was just like, hey, it's been like 15 years. I'm gonna do this again. Like, maybe not. Like,
especially as his art has kind of gone down the drain.
Yeah. So you do run that risk. It isn't always a guarantee, but it definitely lends more confidence for me at least.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. All right, so this next portion of our podcast is brought to you by our wonderful friends in Perryville, Missouri at Villainous Grounds.
I'm gonna see y'all soon.
Very soon, actually, before they will have had an opportunity to listen to this.
You would have you've already seen them.
Now
Time
listening.
travel, the one thing you hate the most.
So, yes, please stop by there for all of your comic book needs. So Rusev and Lana.
Whoa! Those are names I didn't think would ever hear before
writing a comic book with Jason Starr.
That's cool.
It's going to be called Dark Country. They actually posted to their social media, Lana's social media in particular, which, by the way, I knew she wasn't Russian, but it was still weird
jarring
like hearing her talk like in just an American
voice.
accent. Yeah, her voice.
Oh boy, if you watched Wrestling Week to Week, it's very
you'd
very
be
jarring because it goes from Russian to nothing to kind of Russian. Like they don't really.
I mean, she does all right in the pay-per-views. It's one of those things. It's like you watch it and you're like, that is not your actual accent. You just are doing really a half-decent job of copying your husband's accent.
But he's
But
Bulgarian.
he's Bulgarian.
I mean,
She
it's
goes
really
full,
similar.
She goes
but...
full comic book villain with it.
It's Lana and Rusev with their dog on the social media. They're decked out in comic book apparel talking about this book they're writing.
Dog. They did a whole tease, like an entire weekend of announcing a pregnancy, and then it's like, also, so we've been talking about it. Here's the newest member of our family, and it's their dog. I love them so much.
Yeah, they're great.
They are so like genuinely hilarious people. So if you only know them from like WWE, like it's easy to think that they're kind of one dimensional. but like they're not. Like it's so like.
I mean, even just from this one little clip that I saw, like it was very clearly just very different people. They even said at one point, like, "We love you guys, even if we play bad guys on TV sometime." I mean, they just seem like wholesome people.
Yeah.
And now the joke makes sense where Lana says Rusev is pregnant at some point during the clip. But yeah, no, they've got the dog there. The dog's wearing a Spider-Man outfit. Like it's pretty adorable. And they're talking about this. So like one of the big things they're talking about though, they are looking for artists to draw the comic, because I guess this is going to be like self-published, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if they're going to look into publishing elsewhere or not, but yeah, they're like anybody out there that wants to draw. Like apparently they just want a sample of you drawing Lana and Rusev.
Greg Capullo.
I mean, Rusev is what happens when Greg Capullo draws a human, and then it came to life.
Yeah, that's accurate. So yeah, they
So
put
Greg
out
Capullo?
That would be awesome. But yeah, no, they put out
he's
on their
working on
social
other
media. Yeah, but they put out on social media that they're looking for an artist. Like anybody can draw like them and send a sample basically to like they've set up an email for it, darkcountrycomic@gmail.com.
Time.
I'm just picturing if Greg Capullo just actually did draw Rusev, but he already looks like a Greg Capullo character, so he's just going to end up looking like Kingpin and Enter the Spider-Verse.
Just a big block of meat.
He was way too happy. I needed to know what his thought was.
He was very excited about that thought.
Party juice is kicking in.
Is it just Coke Zero? Okay. I need the fan collective to know what Party Juice is.
So yeah, if you are an artist and you want to submit to this, yeah, it's going to be a paying gig, and you will get to hang out with Lana and Rusev.
I wish I knew how to draw.
Same, because that would have been so cool.
I wonder if I can trick like Lindsay or Allie to let me pretend to be them, like Milli Vanilli it.
And then you draw this in front of us. No, but here's all my work.
I can only draw in the comfort of my home.
I can't do it. It's like Ben Stiller in Mystery Men. I can't do it if people are watching.
That's
Kel.
Kel.
That was Kel. Yeah.
That was Kel. Okay.
Yeah. Kel was the Invisible Man.
I love Mystery Men so much.
It was
Yeah.
it
Oh
was
no, I
way
watched
better
it
than
like
should've been.
2 years ago. It's still like I don't know if it holds up because I'm kind of dumb when it comes to movies. I'll admit it, but man, I love that movie.
I need to watch it again because I haven't watched it since the 90s.
Oh, it's so good.
But anyway, I did what? Never mind. It's not important. So yeah, May 1st, 2019 is the deadline. So yeah, you can look up Lana on Instagram if you want like more details. But yeah, at the very least, I think they just want samples of your drawings of Lana and Rusev.
Just also make sure you don't look that Instagram up next to your significant other. It will get you in trouble.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm looking for an art gig. Bikini picture.
Yeah, I didn't actually, because I just saw the clip somebody posted to like from Lana's Instagram.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see Lana's Instagram,
Oh, you should follow.
but with what she shows up on W.
didn't
The
see 'em.
emphatic look on Ace's face.
Worth it.
So yeah. Anyway, it doesn't surprise me is the point I was getting to, but that's just kind of cool. It's going to be a paying gig, like
which is awesome because like it's so easy to like even people who are not even a fraction as famous as these two, and the whole choosing beggars. Like, well, no, it's going to be great exposure for you. Like, no, you don't work for free. Like, if you're an artist, you don't do it for free. Like, you just
yeah. And Rusev did say like, in addition to all the great exposure. It will be a paying gig
because this legitimately would be great exposure.
Yes.
But yeah, you don't have to. But you can't pay rent on exposure.
Right.
So.
Yeah, exposure does not pay rent. It might eventually. But yeah. So yeah, no, I just thought that was really really cool. And like comic book news week, guys, because this next portion of our podcast is brought to you by our friends Josh and Alan of Press Start to Join. You can find all of their shows and social media links at ps2jshow.com. Dalton's got something to say.
Start with Lana and Rusev. It doesn't. Dang it.
Going from comics to movies.
So anyway, and Devil May Cry was their last History of Gaming episode. So give that a listen. See if you like it. So Borderlands 3 got a lot more news, and I cannot begin to express to you two how bummed I was that neither of you were here last week.
Yeah, I was really upset that that I was out of town when the first trailer and the actual announcement happened.
Yep.
Because I was like, oh, I could gush about Borderlands 3.
And then Dalton just bailed on me straight
Whoa,
up.
I was moving.
Dalton just bailed on me straight up.
Oh, you lovely human.
Yeah, no. It was an hour and a half out of your moving schedule.
Oh, no, that wouldn't have worked. There's no way that would have worked. There's absolutely no way that would have worked. But you lovely human.
If you cared, it would have worked. It's fine.
God.
So, Borderlands 3, though.
So Borderlands
I don't want
3.
to talk about Dalton. I want to talk about Borderlands 3.
Yeah. Because Lindsay and Allie are very much not even
Borderlands people.
They don't care at all. So it's just like, yeah, all this stuff happened. There's a gun that ran.
I like the nobody gearbox running gun.
Yeah, no, I love everything about that running gun. So anyway, so we got a lot more news for the first week after announcement. Like, there's been so much news about this game. So first, I'm going to start with they announced the editions of the game. There's going to be 4 total, including you get the standard edition, then you have the deluxe edition is going to be $79.99. Come with 5 different content packs, including like some character and weapon skins, some trinkets, some mods, some other stuff, and I don't know, presumably a neater box. They have slightly different box art, I think, for each of them, but you don't get the steelbook with that. Then you have the Super Deluxe is $99.99, comes with the previous stuff plus the season pass, which is probably going to end up being the edition that I'm going to get because Borderlands DLC is always really good.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Granted, it's been a while since we've gotten anything, but they kind of really set the bar on how DLC should be done in the previous generation.
Yep.
Because both versions, Borderlands 1 and 2, it wasn't critical to the main story. Like, everything was it was a full experience, just the base game. But there was so much content to it.
Yep.
To the DLC episodes that it was definitely worth it.
We've talked about it all the time, and like the uprising of the DLC, stuff where you have like people dropping day 1 DLC and all this stuff, and like Gearbox and Borderlands have that is the best possible way to do DLC.
Yeah.
It was just like you have played this full and complete game with a full story that is if you would like more content, here it is. And it's Borderlands, so yes, I would like more content, please and thank you.
Yeah. Man, all of Borderlands 2 DLC. The pirate stuff was a little underwhelming, but like I'll give that one a pass because of the Dungeons and Dragons one and Torg's Academy of Badassery.
I played Torgs. I never played the Dungeons and Dragons one, which I need to. Badasses, I think it's called.
Oh man,
I'm sorry for the language, folks. That's just the Borderlands.
Just the name of it.
Yeah,
it's in the Bible.
The end of that one.
Yeah, no, I do know about that part.
I don't.
Yeah, we need to do a Borderlands 2 playthrough.
I'm gonna start downloading it today.
Handsome Jack Collection's on sale for Xbox.
I already own it.
It's like $15.
Oh, well, I have it on PS4.
I also have it on PS4, so we should get it on Xbox.
That's 2 people buying stuff. How many times do you want me to buy Borderlands 2?
As many as us. You're behind.
May already own it on Xbox.
I definitely don't.
Lovely human.
Hook up my PS4.
Listen, I've told you guys my problem with Borderlands.
We all have it. You're just a little bit worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're just stage 4. Yeah. I'm stage 3, Dalton's stage 2.
Yeah, that's probably about accurate. Boy, I love that game, and I went ahead and bought they had the big Borderlands bundle on Steam. I didn't own the pre-sequel on Steam, so I went ahead and just bought that too.
I still haven't even touched the pre-sequel.
Yeah, I haven't either. So I have it on PC now because they did we talked about it last week. They've added the 4K versions. Like if you own the base game, you get the 4K.
Yep.
And
the Borderlands 1 Game of the Year edition or whatever they're calling it came out. That apparently not only is it just an updated look at it,
but they added stuff.
They added mechanics
and different mechanics to the game.
Plus stuff that was from the second game that wasn't in the first game. They kind of went back and added features to that too, which make it more playable. Which not that it wasn't playable before, just the improvements that they made to 2, they went back and added to 1.
Yes.
So
So I would honestly be okay with doing a full Borderlands playthrough.
We
before
don't
that
have
comes out.
that kind of time.
We don't. Like, there's no chance. Like, look at our schedules. Look how often we play games together as it is.
No, I understand that.
Like,
I'm saying what I want to do.
Okay.
that's fair. That's fair.
I have to buy all these games on Xbox One, apparently.
Or PC.
No, Xbox One. we're excluding someone if we go PC.
Oh, fair
No,
enough.
we should get it on PC.
You had
Who do you
one that
think
would run Borderlands.
Okay, you want to play that game? Who's Jesse gonna pick? Look at yourself,
I can play it
like
on
deep
PS.
inside. Do a deep introspective look,
Really,
and
it's-
ask yourself that question.
It's just because you don't play games with me. You buy them to play with me,
And I never do.
and then you don't.
I waste the money.
And then I'm like, hey, Dalton, let's play this. Oh, I didn't bring my Xbox. You moron.
Don't do that today because I didn't bring my Xbox.
Oh, you idiot.
You
Anyway.
Yes, you idiot.
I have homework in this Smash
And
tournaments
we got,
today.
but we also got a release date, and it's so much closer than we
yeah,
thought.
so much closer. September 13th. Mm-hmm. Which, going back to, so for PC folks, a little bit of bummer news, I guess, for some people. Like, I personally am a jerk that's been going on about this. For the first 6 months, it's going to be exclusive to the Epic Game Store, and then it'll release on Steam.
Yep.
It'll be cross-platform between Steam and Epic and wherever else you buy it.
And Xbox potentially.
Yeah, it's supposed to be cross-platform with Xbox as well. So yeah, it's going to have cross-platform support. It's not a huge deal. A lot of people don't like the Epic Game Store. There's a lot of valid reasons for that.
But there's also a lot of invalid reasons.
Yes,
And
there's-
it's just like, and even the owner of Epic, like the CEO was on Twitter and he was like, hey, I get that you may not like our service because it's not where we want it to be right now, admittedly. But don't just lie about it.
Right.
Like, yeah, voice your valid criticisms. Don't just be like, okay, so a Chinese company kind of owns part of it, so spyware. Because that's not true. Like,
right. For all of you saying that, I'm going to slap you upside the head because it's not true.
especially if you play League of Legends. Because guess what? Tencent owns a lot of stakes in a lot of video game companies.
Yep. So yeah, no, if that's what's stopping you from using the Epic Game Store, uninstall League,
Yep.
unsubscribe from Spotify, delete your account on Reddit. Like Tencent they have their fingers in a lot more things than you think.
They're just international Google.
A little bit, yeah. They're in so much stuff, so much stuff. So I mean, and you wonder like if anything that you play has a Chinese New Year event, it's because Tencent is involved. But anyway, that's it's dumb criticism. There you have valid concerns with there have been security breaches with the Epic Game Store, which valid. They've added like two-step verification at this point, so that happens less frequently, but it's still that is a problem.
It's lacking a bunch of features.
It doesn't have near as many features as Steam. Again, it hasn't been around as long, but in my opinion, like the exclusive stuff that they're doing is the only way for them to kind of like try to budge in on the monopoly that Steam has
Right.
on these games. Because right now, like publishers release to Steam because there's no other option.
Yeah. And so Steam can set the prices of whatever they want. And so they can, give the share, cuz right now Epic gives a better share to the creators
Yes.
because they still got all that, they got billions of Fortnite money.
And they've also got I mean they don't
And
have huge stake in the game, so they have to make their store more appealing. Right now, like they're really only making it more appealing to publishers and developers, which is a little bit of a problem. They are working on they have a release window of like features they're adding to the store to make it more consumer friendly.
Right.
And again, I'm not saying that I am all for this being exclusive to Epic.
But also remember when everyone hated Steam.
That was absolutely a thing.
I remember the GIF of the Steam logo, but it was like a pump, and it was pumping somewhere not nice. No, everyone hated Steam for a while. I also loved the PC Master Race thing that hit, where it's just like, silly console peasants having to worry about exclusives. In 2019, it's the scene from The Simpsons where all the kids are circling the monkeys fighting with the knife, and it's Steam and Epic, and it's all the consoles watching.
Because it's such a dumb complaint. Like again,
Because it's not like it's costing you anything. You just have to use another launcher, which, that's annoying. And maybe it's because I don't really have a horse in this race because I'm not a major PC player.
I have like 2 or 3 launchers just on my laptop.
But you have to if you buy an EA game or an
you have to
Ubisoft
have
game.
Origin,
Or
you have
Blizzard.
to have Uplay, you have to have the Blizzard launcher.
Yeah.
And each and every time like one of these launchers releases, like it's met with the same amount of animosity.
Except
because
now-
everybody's like, why don't you just use Steam?
And Borderlands 2 is now being review bombed on Steam, so they're getting to showcase the new Steam feature of, hey, so like there's a weird number of reviews hitting between this period. So we're just going to take those reviews and not include them in the overall score because they don't have anything to do with the actual game.
Yep. And yeah,
Because
no,
that's
like,
now a step that has to be taken.
Yep. Because the internet is
Awful.
a bunch of like angry children.
Garbage.
So again, there are legitimate complaints about the Epic Game Store as it stands.
Yes.
By September, a lot of those complaints will have been addressed. It'll be okay, folks.
Yeah.
If you want to wait 6 months and pick up it on Steam, by all means. Just please do not punish the developers for the publisher's decision.
And even like I think it was Randy Pitcher was like, this was a 2K decision. This was
Right.
not a Gearbox decision.
So yeah, like I mean, he's all like he posted support in as much as he probably should have for the company that's writing the checks.
Yes.
But it's still just I don't know. It's not
This reaction is unnecessary.
Exactly. This is a non-issue. It'll be okay. If you really, really hate the Epic Game Store to be on Steam in 6 months, then you can buy the game then. Don't hold it against Gearbox. The best way to show that you are against these timed exclusives is by purchasing the game on another platform.
Right.
If you don't purchase the game at all, you are just showing that the game was not interesting to you, not that you disagree with the decisions they made.
Yeah.
That's how the companies are going to view it. Anyway, that's the end of my Epic Game Store stuff. Back to Borderlands 3. So we got a character announce trailer. So we got to see the 4 characters. Going to be Mose, Flack, Amara, and Zane.
Laney?
Oh man,
Did you know this? You didn't tell us?
this guy does not look anything like
That's
Zane.
very true.
But yeah, no, it's kind of awesome. That would have been. It's like Zane Laney. I could play as Zane Laney. Oh, yeah.
Just destroy everything. Just lift it to death.
But no. Yeah. We don't really know what they're going to be. It looks like Amara is going to be the siren-ish class.
Melee class. The soldier class is going to have a mech you can call down that another player can like get in and like shoot at stuff out of a turret.
So we've now all know what I'm going to be playing as.
There's a Beastmaster class, which I think was Zane.
Yeah, I think Zane is the Beastmaster. Zane is the soldier. He has like the arm turret. No, yeah, he was Beastmaster too because he had the wolf next to him.
Yeah.
And then you had like I think Flack was because they're not going with the traditional set.
Yeah.
Because I say Amara is like the siren. I think she is a siren, but she has like she goes full Vishnu, multi-armed form.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be the melee class.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to be the melee heavy class, but so very different than traditional siren play. Then I think Mose is the one that can pull down the mech, if I remember right. And then Flack just looks like that's your robot this time around. But yeah, again, we don't know a whole lot about what they can do because they were just kind of shooting regular guns. Other than like you saw Zane and Zane and Amara using some abilities. But I mean.
I need to go back and rewatch them.
Yeah, I need to rewatch
because my brain is
too.
overloaded with Mortal Kombat trailer stuff.
We need to get through this so you can talk about Mortal Kombat.
Ooh, yeah.
Co-op has been confirmed. They've also talked about like an option for separate loot streams, so you don't have to share loot anymore if you don't want to.
Good.
So if you have that friend that's being really stingy with everything, then you can do this. You can split up the loot. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, yeah, I didn't even get through the last of the additions here because we had the Diamond Loot Chest was the big one.
Oh, yeah.
That's the $250 one. Comes with that's how you get the Steelbook case, which I'm really bummed that's the only way to get the Steelbook case.
Is it really?
Yep. It's also a GameStop exclusive, which the last time with Borderlands 2, when they had the Loot Box edition, sold out in less than a day. And I didn't get one.
Yeah.
I was super upset about it.
I had the dude in Virginia try to because it was releasing when I was moving from Cape to Virginia, so I didn't want to pre-order it in Cape because I wouldn't have been able to get it.
Right.
So I went around just to see like a bunch of GameStops in the area, and there was one guy who's like, "Well, we got one that hasn't been picked up yet. How much you want to buy it for?" And I told him retail.
MSRP, please.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna. And then so I was like, "Well, that's super shady of you."
Yeah.
Because he was just going to sell someone's
Yep.
pre-order.
Yeah.
And then pocket the extra.
But anyway, it's got a bunch of other stuff too. Like it's got like 10 figurines in it. It's got 4 keychains. It's got
actual like loot box.
Yeah, it'll be
which apparently
like,
the Borderlands
comes in a loot box.
Apparently the Borderlands 2 one sucked.
It wasn't great.
It was just a little case. Like it didn't have.
I mean, it was pretty big.
Well, yeah, but it only like opened from the top. Like it
Yes.
didn't have the platforms. And it was just kind of it was just a tin.
Yeah, no,
Essentially.
it didn't go like full tackle box. Like you open it up and all the stuff spreads out.
Yeah.
No, it ended up being, and it was plastic though too. I remember because a certain manager at the time broke his.
Yep.
More on that later.
Okay.
Or at least, I mean, it wasn't like he did it on purpose or anything.
It was just
happened.
it wasn't because of the manager's fault. It was just this was pretty cheaply made.
Yep.
Which was a disappointment.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, that is a bummer that it's the only way to get a Steelbook, and I'm gonna try and pre-order it because I want it. And then to rapid fire the last of this here, looks like the Switch is getting VR support via Nintendo Labo,
Which can confirm
You have to hold up.
you do have to hold it.
Surely there will be something you can do to fix that problem.
Let me pull up the actual article because they reached out to Nintendo. During VR play, the Joy-Con controllers are attached to the Nintendo Switch system and accessible on either side of the Toy-Con VR goggles, allowing players to simply hold the system up to their face and control the game as normal.
I see.
That's
now.
the official statement of Nintendo.
That
So-
makes sense. So,
That's
yeah, you're
the
holding
image
it by...
they released is a picture of Mario holding up the Labo like a viewfinder.
Yep. No. Okay. Well, Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are getting VR support, which those are both third-person games. So I'm
I don't know how this
unsure
works.
how that's going to work out. I guess we'll find out.
I know it's not going to work out having to hold the system like that.
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea.
And the villains. I forgot to going back to Borderlands real quick. The Calypso twins,
Oh,
which
yeah.
they look
cool.
super cool. Like I dig it. Like every bit of edgelord inside of me loves the Calypso twins.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this stuff. Say Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild getting VR support, or of the games getting VR support. Super Meat Boy Forever has been delayed. It's no longer going to release in April. It'll probably be May or June. So it's still coming really soon, guys.
Because they're not
Just
going to totally crunch and destroy their team trying to reach this deadline.
Right. See, they just pushed it a little bit.
Because they even said, like, we could get there, but it's not worth the sacrifice to the actual human beings who are involved in the process.
So
Right.
good for them.
And then a real petty shot at EA, which I here for.
Always. All right, and then get your grains of salt ready because we got a big rumor. Best Buy may have leaked from an internal like
Employee
screenshot.
SKU listing,
Yeah, of Persona 5 for the Switch.
And I found the other two games.
Oh, good. What were they?
Let's see. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for Switch.
Oh,
And the Metroid Prime trilogy for Switch.
those are also big. How did I not see them?
I'm not sure.
Because the article I read just talked about Persona.
Because, well, that was the first one. And then, so Wario64 is where this comes from. If you're not following him, he's great on Twitter because he posts deals all the time. And, like, sales that are being posted. But so, yeah, Persona 5 Switch version is in the system. Metroid Prime Switch. And then the next tweet was Legend of Zelda. And then his follow-up tweet was, "This concludes tonight's Nintendo Direct." And then Best Buy has pulled the Persona 5 Switch, Metroid Prime Trilogy Switch, and Link to the Past Switch listings from their internal systems as of the next morning.
But I mean, like that makes it sound like they were there at some point. So I mean, there could be some legitimacy to these leaks. All right, Asa, you have 2.5 minutes for your Mortal Kombat minute.
Well, try to stop me. We got Cetrion revealed with a trailer. It's basically Captain Planet, but a lady. She is an elder god. She is Shinnok's sister and total counterpoint. She is the elder god of life and nature instead of the elder god of death. She looks like she's going to be the character that I hate playing and will never go online because she just keeps people out with projectiles and stuff. She's not a traditional zoner. She just has a lot of keep out tools, which is going to be real annoying.
Yeah, the couple of things I looked at, I may have found my main for this game.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not going to play with you. I just have to get real good with Jade for her ability to walk through projectiles. And then we also got the combat cast, which showed off Aaron Black, who looks super cool. Also, not at least the two variations they showed, not super traditional zoner as well, which is a weird call. He still looked awesome. I loved his fatality too, because it's just kind of really grounded compared to her growing to the size of she's standing over the planet and shoots down a giant countrywide beam that is then narrowed down to like the size of a person. Her second fatality though was awesome.
I only saw the second one.
His is shooting down Aaron Black throws down a little pool of acid, and then that's in a whiskey bottle. Then he shoots out their knees, and they land and they're stopping their face from hitting it. And then he just puts his boot on the back of their head and just pushes their face in, and then stomps, and like part of their jaw goes flying out.
Fatality.
Yeah, super. We got to see Aaron Black. We got to see some of Noob Saibot, who I think is probably going to be more your main because he is more of a traditional zoner.
Fair.
He has a lot of special moves, like he doesn't have a lot of strings when they showed him through. And then we got another second character reveal in The Collector, who is Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah.
6 arms, 2 sets of arms are holding a backpack. He is Shao Kahn's essentially accountant, and who goes to the various towns and realms and collects tribute.
Neat.
Yeah. So he's like an old character lore-wise, but this is the first time we're seeing him in a game. His fatal blow is a fatality.
Yeah.
It ends with you sticking a knife through their head and then like slitting their throat.
Not a fatality.
Not a fatality.
Hashtag.
And that's all preceded by like 4 arms, 4 knives, just shanking you in the back repeatedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross.
This character's cool.
His fatality is just like he's just ripping into you, like pulling out organs, and yeah, it's gross.
Doesn't he like put the head in the bag?
Yeah, he puts the head in the bag.
Whew.
Yeah, it's but he looks awesome. There was something else worth mentioning, and I'm totally blanking on it. Oh, and then Game Informer, who got the reveal trailer for Cetrion, also have an exclusive like moves breakdown style, combat cast style. It's like 12 minutes long. You can go on their website, or I think it's on their YouTube page too, and check that out.
Because that's where they had the second fatality, right?
Yes, was that with a move breakdown list.
Yep. Because I saw that part.
Her fatal blow also is like, man, that should have been I would rather her like they should switch that fatal blow in her first fatality. Because it ends with like crucifying someone with rocks and then one going through their face.
Yeah, I saw that too. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I watched that whole thing. Because, I remember watching it and thinking like, oh yeah, Swamp Ivy looks awesome.
Yeah. It's this game is so beautiful. And again, I can't say enough about the animations that they've worked on. Like they have improved so much. This game looks amazing. I'm so excited. April 23rd needs to hurry up and get here.
And I am definitely going to play it with you here in the store on your system. All right, that's going to do it for us, though, guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.